Welcome back, adventurers, and welcome to 2025. Well, you'd better buckle up, guys, because this year is going to be a wild ride. With so much happening, from the launch of our new ALUMINIUM PORTOFINO 52 Catamaran to boat shows and Atlantic crossing and many surprises along the way. And we'll share the plan in this week's episode. So make sure you watch to the end of this video because we have a big reveal that you're not going to want to miss. So kick off your shoes and come barefoot with us. We are John and Ali, the Barefoot Doctors, sailing and travelling around the globe. Join us as we share the adventure and explore the beauty of the world. Because life is better barefoot. Well, welcome back, adventurers. Welcome to 2025. What an amazing year this is going to be. Well, it's John and Ellie, the Barefoot Doctors, and we are back in Australia in our beautiful home, which we call the Love Nest. We actually got married here, so it's very special to us. So we're back for a few months and just really chilling out and enjoying landlubbing for a little while.
Yeah, meeting up with family and sorting out all our stuff at home, which obviously we can't do while we're away. So this couple of months we're going to be fixing up all our home affairs before we set off again, which is likely to be an extended period of time this time. But anyway, let's talk about 24.
2024 was an awesome year. I mean, we had the excitement of building the Portofino, but also we were on our beautiful Leopard 45, which we absolutely love, mind you. And we were sailing the Mediterranean. So we cruised Crete, Greece and Turkey, and we had a whole bunch of Patreons on board, as well as some very dear friends. So it was an awesome year.
Yeah, and the good thing really is that what we're happy with is that patrons that actually came on board and joined us actually learnt seemingly so much that they then could progress their own sailing dream significantly going forward. So we're really happy with that, because at the end of the day, that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to help spread information, give people more confidence, understand that sailing actually isn't all that hard. A lot of YouTube channels make it this big drama. Oh my God, are we going to cope? But it's easy.
Because that's clickbait and it makes for good viewing and all that sort of thing. But
the important thing is that sailing is actually very logical, very sensible. If you think about it, you can work out what to do and you can take care, and dramas are much less likely to happen.
It's still going to happen.
And you can then work out how to handle them when they do happen. So, it's a lovely way to live. We just want to spread the good information to allow more people to get out on the water safely, confidently, and do it nice and smoothly and easily without any drama.
So if you haven't seen many of our videos, we often weave in there some captain's tips, things that we think would be valuable for anybody out there, even you armchair sailors out there. We hope you find it interesting. So we try to do that to make our videos practical, as well as hopefully a little entertaining for you, and to give you sort of more of a real snapshot on what sailing really can be like.
For us, some of the really important videos was spreading the information about things like the fact that light displacement cats have their downsides. There's all this blah, blah, blah in a lot of channels, which is it's the only way to go. And
go fast boats.
But there are risks and there are problems, and you choose to have them or you choose not to have them. But you got to understand what they are before you go into that type of boat, because they can capsize. Definitely. You have to know what to do, and they are more twitchy and they are more noisy when you sail them. We loved performance cats too.
We had one for 20 years.
But we do see a lot of people that have lack of knowledge about the downsides of the performance cat. Another really interesting one for us was the shallow draft versus fixed keels. Because we see so few people have ever sailed a shallow draft boat and understand the benefits. A shallow draft boat could sail up our little creek here, go around the back there and park behind our house in the mangroves there.
Which we've thought seriously about.
And we've done it in other mangroves, and we've taken shelter in storms. It just opens up your options so enormously. And when we were sailing in the Bahamas, we just felt like our throats were cut, because we knew what a shallow draft boat could do in the Bahamas, and yet we were stuck, out of these cute little coves and away from the beaches because of the tides.
It is really a game changer. And I was going to say, once you've had a shallow draft and a beachable boat, you never go back. We actually did.
And we've gone back again.
And we regretted it.
We really do.
I mean, we thought, okay, well, we'll cope, but we didn't. Because
it's the one thing that we really, really missed.
Yeah. And I mean, the other thing we did last year, we put out about 46 videos, I think, and we got 773,000 views in the year, which was really nice. So thanks very much for all of your support, guys. I'm glad you're watching, and that's what helps keep the videos going. I mean, some of our videos we thought were really, really good, but they got very few views. One specific one was the one on Spinalonga at the leprosy colony in Crete, because we have a personal connection with leprosy, because I actually spent some time working in a leprosy hospital in Nepal. So all of this was very real to me about the reality of leprosy and the condition.
And it was in the most magnificent place. It was on an isolated island that was just beautiful cruising, and you know, that in itself was worth a watch. So look below and we will tell you what it's called.
So the other thing is our subscriber numbers have climbed to 17,000, which is really good. But hey guys, please, if you haven't subscribed and you're watching these videos, if you subscribe, you won't miss any of the exciting stuff coming up. But also the YouTube algorithm will get these videos out to more people, so they'll be able to see the great information as well. So please help us out. Click the buttons, ding the bells, whatever it is, do all that sort of stuff.
So the other thing we did in 2024 is copious amounts of aid work, whether it was over the internet or whether it was in person, whether it was sailors or whether it was just people that came up to the boat. And really it's quite incredible because we don't actually advertise Barefoot Doctor Sailing on the boat. We will with the Portofino, so we might be inundated a bit more. But the interesting thing is, because of the nature of our work, we can't just show every person that we do an intervention with, or we help in some way. So that makes it tricky. But there will be times that we will be able to show it on those odd occasions.
And often it's very sensitive, and especially when you're dealing with severe problems, then people don't want that to be made public. So
like
it's
mental health issues.
Mental health, yeah. So very often people want to just keep it private.
So all of our wonderful Patreons out there that are supporting us, you're also supporting the aid work that we can do wherever we go. So it doesn't matter what person presents to us. If we can help them, we will, and it doesn't matter how long it takes us.
Yeah, and the Tough Minds app is actually out there all the time. It's got a module to stop people committing suicide. It's got modules to improve depression, anxiety, stress, insomnia, self-esteem, and all that sort of
just your everyday
mental
stress.
Resilience stuff. So it's phenomenally powerful, and the stats are just incredible, increasing your mood scores by 50%. And these processes absolutely complement any medical or psychological support you're getting in other places, and will help you move forward.
Because 2025 is going to be a snodder of a year. It's going to be awesome. I've got butterflies just thinking about what's ahead of us, because obviously we have, you know, our new aluminium Portofino cat that's being built that we'll take delivery of this year in 2025. And it's all going to be very new. I mean, John sailed for 50 years. Does he look that old? He doesn't really look that old, does he? But he's sailed for 50 years and me for 20 odd years. But this is all
53 years now, honey.
53. You don't look. You don't look. But
I was doing it 5 years before I was born.
But anyway, it's all going to be new to us, because although we've got experience in sailing, we've had countless boats, 11 or something like that, both monohull and cats. This is the first aluminium cat we've ever had. So for me, it's going to be like new experience, like even with the electrolysis and what's going to, create more electrolysis and about stray current and all sorts of things. I mean, that's just news. So if you guys are watching the video, you're going to be learning exactly the same time as I'm going to be learning, or we're going to be learning.
Yeah, and I mean, on the boat, we've got all these amazing systems like the centreboards that are going to pop up, and they're going to be hydraulic, the rudder that kicks up. We're going to have a boom furler, so we'll have to learn how to work that. We're going to have nice foresails with a PFR on a cable-free spinnaker. So
it's all new. These are the new innovative sails from One Sail. So these guys are going to want to be on the boat tweaking and seeing what it does, and so that's going to be pretty exciting for us, and then we'll have to learn how to do it. So it's going to be a huge learning curve.
Yeah. So, I mean, for us, obviously, it'll be absolutely phenomenally exciting seeing the boat coming together when all the interior design that we've been putting into it. That'll be wonderful to see. But even more exciting will be how it's going to perform on the water, because that's very contentious.
Yeah, it is. The figures are in, the facts are there, but when you actually have created it and put it into the water, that's when
it gets real. I was going to say the S hits the fan.
That's when S gets real, because, up until that point, we really don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah.
We hope it's going to go the way that the figures predict, but we really don't know. And
So-
that's a bit scary.
We will see, as a very wise man said.
Yes. I think it was Buddha. Or Lao-Tzu, one of them anyway, one of the Buddhists. So Portofino is estimated that delivery is going to be about March, April, right? So, but there's all sorts of complications with that, isn't there?
Yeah, look, I mean, the Houthis are still going in the Red Sea, making that really, really dangerous. So we basically have three options. Sail through the Red Sea without insurance for terrorism or war.
War.
Or we sail around the bottom of Africa, 12 to 14,000 miles to get back up to the Med. Or we put the boat on a ship to ship it around, to the Med, to take delivery there. So those are the three options. Oh, and the fourth option is sail to Asia.
Which is kind of on our way home.
Yeah. We don't want to be heading home that soon.
No.
So that's why we don't really want to be sailing from Dubai straight into Asia. Before the Houthis came, the plan was to sail up through the Red Sea, get the boat into the Med for the summer, go to the Cannes Boat Show for the first boat show that the Portofino 52 would ever be in. That is in September.
Still going to happen.
So we're hoping we're going to
By
be able
hook or by crook. So the Portofino 52, the first one hot off the press, is going to be in the Cannes Boat Show in this year, in 2025. So, and we're going to be there with our proud baby. And we would encourage anyone that's interested in coming to see the Portofino to touch it, to smell it, to see the space, to, knock on the aluminium hull, not too hard because of my paint. It's going to be a great thing to be able to come and see the boat for real. Closer to now, we're going to be at the Grande Motte Boat Show. So even though our boat won't be ready to be there on time, we will be there. So we will be there doing a meet and greet and hanging out in the Portofino stand and
showing photos, showing design features and all that sort of stuff. Very up-to-date stuff, because it should be very close.
So if you're going to be there, drop into the Portofino stand, because we will be there or hanging around there somewhere. And, take us out for a cup of coffee or something, and, and we can chat.
Yeah. After the September Cannes show, what we then plan to do is to sail out past Minorca,
Lifesavers are patrolling on the beach, so we used to do lifesaving back in the day. And, in between sailing, we would go and patrol on this beach, further up the beach. And that was our local beach. So we went and did our bit, and with lifesaving, John was the doctor for lifesaving and all that kind of thing. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So after the Cannes Boat Show, our plan is to sail, west, Mallorca, Minorca, might go to parts of Spain, through the Straits of Gibraltar, down to the Canaries, Tenerife, Cape Verde, etc.
And then we go across the Atlantic. So that's going to be absolutely awesome. It's the first time for me. So I'm an Atlantic, how do you say that?
Virgin.
I am an Atlantic virgin. So I haven't crossed the Atlantic before. He has. So that's going to be really great, particularly on our own boat. And the really cool thing about crossing the Atlantic is it's the Atlantic, So that's really exciting. And when you cross the Atlantic, when you cross the equator, what are you entitled to?
You wanting a tattoo, are you, honey?
Well, I was one of these people that said, I will never get a tattoo. I didn't like them back in the day. I mean, we're talking, 40 years ago. I didn't really like them when they were kind of first starting to come out. But it's a little bit different when it has a meaning, or it means something. It's not just hate across your knuckles, So when you
love on this one.
So when you're crossing the Atlantic, when you cross the equator, tell them what you're entitled to.
You can get a greenback turtle tattoo, and when you do more than 5,000 miles, you can get a swallow. We've already got about 4 swallows.
Yeah, but you could get a flock of them. The amount of sailing that you've done. But anyway, so that's pretty fun. That's a bit exciting. And my boys think it's a bit funny because, they couldn't imagine Mum would ever get a tattoo. But, I might just get like a little swallow just there. So, and every time you reach for something when you're at a marina, people go, ooh, Atlantic, equator. No, I haven't done the equator. Ooh, Atlantic. Anyway, it's a bit of fun. After we cross the Atlantic, we are going to end up in the Caribbean. So
depending on circumstances, we'll be sailing the Caribbean for that season. So that's like November through to about May. Obviously we would be going with the wind up towards the Bahamas. There's a possibility we could go to the Miami Boat Show in February.
Maybe.
And then of course the season in the Caribbean ends in about May. So at that stage, we've got to make a decision to go north into the US or south to Grenada. So those are the kind of unknowns at the moment, because we don't know what we'll be doing.
But of course, everyone knows that it's very safe in Grenada and they never get hurricanes or anything there, right? Wrong.
Well, they got one last year,
Yeah.
Which was a real shame, but they're rare. It's all these statistical things. As you get further north and further south, the incidence of the cyclones becomes less and less. And that's how the insurance companies rate this place as being safe or not. Like, Jason Nicky Wynn said, you write your plans in the sand at low tide and then see what happens.
Or the other one is you make your plans and God just laughs. Yeah, you think that's going to happen. Ha, 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 ha. But anyway, all you can do is start with a plan and then go from there. But for now, considering that we are going to be away from home for near on 15, 16 months. So right now we are at home and we're really loving it because we know it's going to be quite some time before we're back.
Seeing the family again, seeing the grandkids, all that sort of stuff. It's absolutely wonderful to have a holiday from the hard work of the boat.
We used to laugh at people when they'd say, oh, we've got to get off the boat to have a holiday. We'd go, what? But actually, it is a change because it's instead of every day being checking the weather, managing
anchor,
the weather, checking the anchor,
cleaning the boat,
making sure you're safe, deciding where you're going to go next, depending on the weather and situations, and then actually sailing there. It takes up a lot of time and it's actually quite energetic.
Continuous, yeah. It's a continuous process. It isn't like when you're in a house, you go to sleep and the anchor's not going to move. You don't have to really worry about the wind as long as all the windows are closed.
There was a kick-ass storm here and it was just massive, and we sat out on the veranda and we watched it. And when you're on land, it's wonderful. It's just beautiful to watch, when you're safe. When you're on a boat, all I could think of was, thank goodness we're not out there.
Yeah, no, actually out there, the storm was actually directly over Brampton Island, which is where one time we were in exactly the same sort of storm. The wind changed 180 degree around, pushed us anchor drag back onto the reef. We got, a terrible situation.
I nearly got impaled on one of the railings, but anyway, it was pretty intense, and that was just one of our little stories. But anyway, it's behind us, and it's a beautiful place, and it's only about 18 miles away from here.
But we need to tell these guys some news about, we have made some decisions.
We have.
So honey, it took a long, long time and a lot of millions of little color swatches, and we have decided the color of the boat.
Yes.
Thanks to all of you guys for all those suggestions, because that was very useful, and we did expand our range of. You made it much more difficult for us, actually.
Yes, you did.
But thank you.
Because we went chasing off colour. Woo! What about this one? And what about that one? But of course, what you had was the knowing that we wanted to have it elegant and beautiful and classy and that kind of thing. The colour doesn't actually have a name as such, but it's kind of like it's kind of like an Arctic blue. So if you see the colour of that blue through there, it's very similar to that. So,
but not only is it Arctic blue, but it is
metallic. Finally, I think we just wore poor old Rafa down, but he agreed. So we know things about metallic. We've gone in with eyes wide open. We know that
when you scratch metallic paint, to repair it and make a seamless join is much, much more difficult.
Yes.
And probably going to be much more expensive to repair those little dings. The paint is just as strong as any other, and Rafa can do it. He didn't want us to have metallic paint because of the difficulty of the repairs.
I said, please, Rafa, please. I want it. But anyway, so.
And we'll take that risk and pay the price. But
We might pay the price.
we think this color should look absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, because it's kind of like that kind of color blue, but with like
Brighter.
a silvery, pardon me, with a silvery kind of reflex. So depending on the light, in some lights it looks more silvery, and then some lights it definitely looks more sort of bluey color, this color. We're very excited because we don't even know what it's going to be like. We've seen it on a swatch kind of about this big, and we're bending it, we're taking it out in the sun, and we're putting it against the boat and doing all sorts of things. But really, until the whole boat is painted, you really don't get the whole effect. There was a couple of other colors that were a bit brighter, because we really love that whole turquoisey blue kind of color. But you have to paint to your product, right? So if we went a really big bright color on a big 52-foot boat, it would probably look a little bit overwhelming. And also the fact too that when you're on a beautiful blue sea, if you have something brighter than that, like almost like an artificial blue, it dulls the beautiful sea around you. So taking that into consideration. We didn't also want anything that was going to be too harsh on the eyes, so we were going sort of more to the silvery look, but of course you've then got your reflex and you've got the sun and the glare. So we felt this was really the best choice for us all round. So as John said, thank you so much for all of your color suggestions. And I think the closest person to the color that they said, which is one of our beautiful Patreons, which is Carleen, and she suggested like an Arctic blue or an icy blue kind of thing, and that was kind of what we really had in our heads anyway. So thank you, Carleen, congratulations. You got the closest to it.
In practical terms, though, we will be going back to Dubai from Australia to see the boat. Then we'll be going to the Grande Motte Show. Then we'll be taking delivery of the boat in the near future after that. So this will be so exciting. There'll be so much stuff to see, all those systems, all those unique features on the Portofino that have never been done before in any other boats, plus systems that have been improved. But there are so many really exciting aspects to the boat. We'll take you through that as they get put on.
As well as the Portofino 47, which we'll be featuring as it's launched. So we're going to be featuring the 47 as it's launched in the next couple of months. So stay tuned for that. So for goodness sake, if you haven't subscribe and click the button, because we don't want you to miss out on all the fun that's going to be ahead. The seagull is circling right there. His name is One Leg, or we commonly call him Eileen. And he's circling, and he's been with us for years and years and years. And apparently he doesn't land when other people are staying in the house. But as soon as he saw us out here having breakfast, he came in and he even hopped on the chair. So he's the same guy.
He squawked at us for some food, so we gave him some leftover chicken. He likes chicken. He's a bit fussy, actually. He doesn't eat bread.
Not particularly.
He
or ham. He's not really big on ham either. But chicken, give him chicken. He's only once.
And then he hopped up on the couch directly opposite our breakfast table.
So it's nice to be welcomed home. So here we are in the land of mangoes, frangipanis, seagulls, and all sorts of delicious Aussie things that we miss when we're away. So we're really super enjoying being in Oz, and it's great to be home.
If you have any questions or comments, we really do appreciate them. So please put your comments below so we can read them and we can answer any questions that you have.
So for now, I think I'll go and have a mango. The season's only quite short. You've only got a couple of months of mango season. Big, bowen, beautiful mangoes, very juicy. I'm just about turning orange. I have that many mangoes when I'm home.
Let's cut a mango and show you how it's meant to be done.
Yeah. So this is how you cut a mango. So first off, there's the point there, and you get as close to that point as you possibly can. And that means that you're going to get as much flesh as you can. Okay, so that's the seed in there. It's very close to that little point there. And then you take this bit and you actually slice with the point of a knife down till you can feel the skin underneath. And you turn it around and you go cross sections like this. And then when you finish that, are you ready? Ta-da! You pop it out. How cool is that? And then to get the other half, again, you go as close to that seed as you can. Get a little ambitious and have to cut around it a bit more. Doesn't matter how many slices you do. So, there's usually not that much left on the pip, so you don't waste any mango, of course.
Of course.
So you just hold it and get as close to the pip as you can and get as much flesh out. And then this part here, you just flip this little bit of skin off there. And this is the most exciting bit. Sucking the seed. There's always an arm wrestle for the seed. It's very juicy and very yum. So, tra-la! And then from there, you just peel your bits of mango off. All that flesh, look at that.
Or you can just suck it off with your...
Or suck it straight off the mango. So that's it from us, guys. Bye for now.
Bye.
Also, thanks to our awesome Patreons for helping us help others in need. Until next week, guys, hold fast to your dreams, for like the wind in the sails, they propel you towards endless possibilities.